Okay, let me go with this one announcement that Chris is very excited about and supportive of. Hexet promised record $1 trillion Pentagon budget. If you want to play this clip, Rob, if you want to pull this up, this is the markets responded favorably on this one when this was shown. If you don't have the clip,
I do. Just give me. I'll find it in one second.
Tom, your thoughts on the story here with Hexet promising $1 trillion and how the market kind of had a little bit of a bounce.
Yeah, so I kind of did a double blink when I was listening to it. And I said, wait a minute. So you got Doge at the Defense Department. You're like, what, 880 or something like that right now? 880B, that you're spending. And you got Doge in there. You're laying off civilians that are in supplemental administrative positions, as you defined it. And you're trying not to just drop all these arms off at NATO that now you want them to pay for. So that wouldn't be your defense budget. That would be what they're buying from Boeing and Raytheon. Okay, I get it. But how do you get to the trillion thing? It's like, I'm going to save all this money in government, and then for my enemies, I'm going to scare the hell out of you because I'm bringing it up to $1 trillion. This is going to be like Star Wars and Reagan. I'm going to have an even bigger weapon system that I'm going to be there and do. And then, but the market goes, did I hear $240 billion in EBITDA? I think I did. And so all the indexes, all the defense indexes move, and it moves the market a little bit because the market is right now, and Eric, this is all you, is sentiment driven. If the sentiment is a good mood or a bad mood, it moves around. I've never seen the VIX moving with this like volatility. And so I'm like, guess what? It's not the volatility index. It's the velocity index. It's just the velocity of dollars that are coming, it's like waves, high tide, low tide. So the VIX I look at and say, you know what? I'll get back to you someday and I'll trust you, VIX. But right now, all you are is a measure of velocity. And guess what? $1 trillion of defense is a hell of a lot of velocity.
Pull up VXX for a second, not VIX, VXX. There's the index. Here's the VXX will just VXX, not VIX.
Not VIX.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
VXX,
it's okay.
Yeah. You're right. The volatility, give it 6 months or a year or whatever, even 5 years even.
Look at that.
Look at that spike. Man,
April 2nd. Wow!
Those spikes there, right at the end. That was the day that they announced the
Liberation
tariff.
Day.
And what that is, it's they call it a fear index or a confusion index. And Wall Street was generally blown away by the tariff announcement, even though they knew it was coming. And look, the only other time it happened recently was a massive spike. I don't even know what the event was in August of 24. It rarely ever goes to above 80. And it went from the low 20s, teens to 75, 80, and is making its way back down as people digest the news. But the general idea is it's still elevated, Tom. It's still high, meaning the market, the players, the bigger players in the market are still uncertain of the direction of the market. Is it going to tank? It could go down another 4,000 or 5,000 points. Is it going to make new record highs? Who knows? They don't know right now. And when that confusion is in the market, the VIX spikes.
Why spend
VIXs makes everybody happy.
more on defense right now?
That's what I was just going to say.
That's the question.
I was going to say why number one, and number two, how many audits has the Pentagon failed, Tom?
All of them.
How?
Every one of them. They have a perfect record.
Every single one. And then I'm just curious, Pat, what is in that bill? Are we, just for defense spending, are we giving it to other countries to protect themselves because they're going to help us? I want to know where the worst timing for something like that is right now. Because you're right, Chris. We own all the nukes. I'm just letting you know. I worked at a nuclear missile base. We had 200 ICBMs in the ground with up to 3 or 4 or 5 warheads in each cone. Like this missile goes into outer space. The reentry system is here. This thing opens up. And that was one base. 80% of our arsenal is swimming around in the ocean. Nobody's messing with us. Nobody is dumb enough to do it. Why all them? I'm so confused. Why? As if we need that right now.
It's the establishment war pimps wanting their money. And this is the biggest test, in my opinion, for the president. You are a disruptor. You are the man who says, I do not have to bow to anyone. And things are going to change about who gets to stay at the trough for the longest. Mm-hmm. These are the biggest pigs at the trough.
Yep.
And I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't agree with the theory, but the theory is that they're spending 12, 15% more than the record they spent last year, and it continues to go up, is that Trump wants to retool our military. He wants to update missiles, fighter jets. That costs a lot of money to do that, and that's his vision. I don't necessarily agree with Vinny. I agree with you that mutual destruction is always
Create
there, and we
STEM
will always
academies.
have that the upper hand on mutual destruction with any country in the world, including Russia, China, whomever. But to completely come back with every nuclear sub retools, all our fighters. He's doing the F-47, which is going to cost what, $1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
So that's how
After
they get to
he
those
bashed
numbers.
the F-35, the F-47 is now going to cost, whatever X of what the F-35 did, which Trump campaigned on how wasteful it was. He is an anti-extension guy militarily, which I think is a virtue of his in terms of lining up with the American people. And this is a boogeyman. This is what the Cold War was. Look at Russia. Look at, to Vinny's point, when I went to Russia when they were doing the nuke cleanup and I was in outer Siberia where they kept them, it was in a barn that was sealed with a wax string on wine racks.
Were you wearing that tight black T-shirt when you were reporting?
Every T-shirt on me is tight because I'm 225 pounds of bad intentions. Yeah. But no,
there you
I
go.
was wearing BDUs when I was there.
Oh, really?
And the Russian guys had no weapons. And they had mixed-matched uniforms. And I was like, I don't get it. Are they a special force? He was like, no, the uniforms are hard to get here, and they sell the weapons because they haven't been paid in a few weeks. Jeez. We made a complete boogeyman out of them. Now they want to do it again about China. You want to cut money, the DOD is there, okay? You want to deal with Medicaid, you want to make it more efficient, you want waste, fraud, and abuse, fine. All of those boxes get checked in a big way there. And if that place wins again, then you are no better than who you replaced in terms of going after the powerful.
So it's interesting because if I'm not mistaken, the F-47 Boeing makes, right? Mm-hmm. This morning, this news came out at 7 a.m. this morning, Rob, with China. Did you guys see the story about, Rob, I sent you the story of New York Post. China halts Boeing deliveries as trade war with U.S. intensifies. Did you see that?
I saw Boeing jets.
Right, Boeing
Yeah,
jets. We're not talking. So if you want to go a little bit lower, so China has ordered its airlines to halt all jet orders for American manufacturers, Boeing, in response to President Trump's tariffs hitting the country with tariffs as high as 145. Beijing has additionally told Chinese carriers to not purchase any aircraft-related equipment from American companies, Bloomberg News reported. The order comes, Rob, the order comes after China puts 125%. Okay, he'll go a little bit lower. And Boeing shares dipped 3% in pre-market trading Tuesday over the pause in the shipments to China, which the company views as one of the biggest growth markets despite being dominated by rival Airbus. Can you go to Boeing stock real quick just to kind of see what it looks like?
Down.
What is it, 2%? Yeah, it's down 2% for the day. Interesting. Tom, your thoughts on this?
On Boeing?
Just the trillion, Boeing, all of it combined.
So, sometimes there's headlines I look at and I say, wait a minute, we were kind of expecting this because China's intra-country travel has been down. The people inside China have been traveling less because their economy has been, down. And so they've had these issues. And so Boeing, I think, was expecting a moderation in the deliveries of the PO that they got there. And so this headline is kind of like, we kind of saw it coming. But now they say, well, China is telling Boeing not to do it because they want to, stab at the United States on this. Well, I think there's a lot of that there too. But the point is, and Eric alluded to it, there's a lot of things going on in that economy over there that are not particularly up and to the right. And so there's a lot of industries over there that were moderating. And for them to also come in, and by the way, I don't want you to buy Boeing planes. Well, I wasn't going to buy three of them anyway. Well, don't buy the fourth. That's the way it felt to me. Kind of scammy.
Hit that 1 month on that chart right there. It's April 2nd. See that day? That's the tariff announcement. Boom. So it's making its way back. It's 157 ballpark, and it was only in the 160s, 170s prior to that. So Boeing's still going to make airplanes, sell them around the world. China's still going to be a producer. This tariff game it's scary.
And this is a rather flat trading window. This is not a disaster.
When do we
here,
find
right?
out what's in that $1 trillion?
If you do a 2-year or maybe even a 5, watch how low Boeing gets. See, at some point, look, Boeing was down.
They had those
yeah.
airplanes falling out of the
That's when
sky
that was more detrimental to
doors.
Boeing stock than
730,
China making. Yeah, but Boeing jets were falling apart. The Max, Boeing Max, right?
Not a good product launch.
Never good. But look, I'm just saying that this is a no-brainer. All right, you're in reduction mode right now, right, in terms of government spending, and of course, everybody supports the military and want a military. And, Vinny, Pat, everybody knows this, whether you served or not. You talk to those people, they'll be the first ones who tell you that there's a lot of money wasted in that place, and it's not in the right things. And we have way, way too much infrastructure versus our warrior component. It's just always benefited because there's an optic that if you put money into military, it means that you're strong.
Yep.
I just looked up what's in the budget for fiscal 2025. It says $850 billion, even though he's saying over $1 trillion. 4.5% raise for service members, 14.5% increase for junior enlisted troops, which if you remember, Vinny, during Obama, I think the military got a raise of 1% for like 4, 5, 6 years. That's it. They didn't get a big raise.
That was it.
So they're giving them a bigger raise to get people to want to join. 287 is going to operations and maintenance. 172 is going to procurement, including aircrafts like the F-35. R&D and test and evaluation, 143 billion. They're testing funds for programs like the B-21 stealth bomber and a next generation air dominance. Military construction and family housing, 17.5 billion. Defense health program, 40 billion. Nuclear modernization is another 33.5 billion. International security assistant doesn't say the number. But I'd be curious to know where that money is going to be going. A lot of you have been asking about the cigar lounge. You want to come to it. And we've been having back-to-back. This last Friday was the biggest event we ever had at the cigar lounge, which was fantastic. However, grand opening is this Thursday night. And this is what we're doing. Thursday, we're not doing a podcast in the morning. Thursday, we're doing a live podcast at our comedy club at Cigar Lounge, $59.90 live. Tickets are being sold. It'll be myself, Vinny, Tom and Adam, live audience. Come on down. Bar opens at 6. If you get there at 6 p.m., you buy tickets, no matter whether you buy the regular ticket, the general, the premium, or VIP. If you get the ticket and you're there early, we're going to give private tours of the cigar lounge and then bring you back in the room. And the podcast will start at 7 p.m. It's going to be it's going to be, if you've been to it before, it's a spectacle. It's incredible. The energy, the vibe, the announcements, different things that we do, and a lot of people networking together. But that's the QR code. The website, Rob, if we can give them the website so some of the folks on Spotify can go to it as well. I believe it's boardroom.
Cigarlounge.com.
Boardroomcigarlounge.com. Go a little bit lower so it gives the details. You'll get the tickets, so go lower, Rob, lower for the tickets. There's general premium VIP, 100, 250, 500. VIP, you get a chance to actually go afterwards to the cigar lounge, and we'll be with you guys. And we're doing it Thursday instead of Friday because Friday is Good Friday. So Thursday, we'll celebrate it together. Come on down, bring a friend, network, join the rest of us. We'll have a good time. If you've been to it before, typically the people that have been to it before, they know VIP sell out immediately. This year we have fewer VIPs because platinum members get first on those seats. So if you want to have a VIP seat, hurry up and place your order, and we'll see you guys Thursday night. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.